So you might see my videos of an alien in the jam factory. I'm gonna get the book so we can read chapter 2.
Come upstairs, mate. Oh, you've got there. Oh.
So this book. So I'm gonna read the bit of this page because we read it last time, but it's chapter 2. Daffy Dodgy sat behind her desk, peering down at Maclay's jam from her tower window. She can often be found doing this. One hand holding a telescope to her beady eye, the other stroking a fat white guinea pig that sat docilely on her lap. The guinea pig is just there. The guinea pig right over there. How do we come up with all those ideas, Boris? She wheezed. What's their secret? What's inside the factory? Maclay's jam looked like an ordinary square building from the outside, but Daffy knew that inside was something very special indeed. Not that anyone than the Maclays had ever actually been inside. Well, no, further than the entrance hall, at least. And that was the only very occasional visitors, or perhaps the odd delivery driver. Daffy hadn't even gotten as far as the entrance hall. She tried to break in, of course. She'd plotted and shemmed for years to get inside, but those dastardly Maclays had foiled every attempt, increasing their security with each of her failures. Daffy glanced at the whiteboard. There were some of her more recent break-in plans we were listed. Jams stealing master plans, pretend to be a window cleaner, foiled. Window alarmed, sneak into a delivery van, foiled. Scanner on all vans. Attach a spy camera to Boris and post them through the letterbox. Foiled. Boris too fat. Brick through window. They haven't did that one yet. She sighed. It was a bit embarrassing, really. All the same, they hadn't managed to stop her from gleaning a few tidbits of information. If Daffy saw anybody entering the factory building, she tossed down her telescope, buckled up her boots, and hot foot it down there so that when they came out she could interview them for every little morsel information about what they had seen. So this is the page. So that's the whiteboard they wrote on. But every plan foiled. So foiled means like
Failed.
Yeah, failed. So like it didn't work. But they haven't tried throwing a brick through the window. So maybe that will work. I've read this book before, but it's a mystery book. So you have to if you want to get this book, you can read along with me. I'm reading every chapter in every video after school. Well, when I come back from school, when I come back from school, I can read 2 chapters of this all. Apparently, there was an enormous fountain in a reception hall surrounded by jam tarts and marshmallows on sticks. It had 3 tires that reached all the way up to the ceiling, each tire trickling a different flavour of jam. From the reception, there was a staircase leading up to the flat where Maclays lived. But it was 2 top secret entrances, each accessed only by fingerprint recognition that really interested Daffy. One set of doors led to the factory itself, where the jam was inside made by Scooter. Well, it doesn't really say that in there, but I'm just gonna say it because it is Maclays Jam Factory and Scooter owns it. Well, he makes the jam. One set According to the postie, there was a roller coaster cart outside that one. He said that the tracks looped all around the factory, and that cart could stop anywhere, even upside down. But that wasn't all. A pizza delivery girl had told Daffy that she glimpsed inside. She talked of gigantic robotic hands and tools that seemed to have a mind of their own. Daffy would love to see inside that factory. She loved a ride on that roller coaster. Even if truth be told, at age 78, Daffy had never been on a roller coaster. She'd never even been on holiday. She turned her telescope towards a small blacked out window at the back of the building. Behind that window was the most top secret in the whole factory. In fact, it was the very same room that the other entrance led to. No one had ever seen inside that room. The Jam Inventions Laboratory. Scooter McClay's Jam Laboratory. With the Jam Inventions. One day they'll open that window, Boris. She put down the telescope and let sleepy Boris slide to the floor and stood up. Then I'll know their secrets, Boris squeaked in irritation. He lumbered towards Daffy's slippers under the desk and disposed a little poo pellet in the left slipper. They'll never use to. They never used to have any ideas when they worked here. Daffy shook her head, thinking back to Mr. and Mrs. McClay. All she could remember were two fairly mousy, utterly boring individuals. She shrugged, walked into the mirror and patted perfectly coiffed white hair. Her mean eyes twinkling merrily as she brushed down her brown velour tracksuit. It's not the law, it's velour. The tracksuit is made out of velour. Daffy had 7 brown velour tracksuits, one for every day of the week, each one of them proudly displaying the word dodgy across her bottom. With a quick sniff on her armpits, she gave herself a little wink in the mirror. But wait, what was that she saw in the reflection behind her? Quick as lightning, she grabbed the telescope. It's open, Boris, she cried as the window of Jam Inventions Lab was thrust into and something thrown out of it. She focused the telescope, then looked at Boris confused. Think they just chucked the snow out the window. Yeah, a snail? Wait, was that snail Gary? Maybe. Oh, it was Gary. But Mummy, he's just not a garden snail. He's my pet snail. He's Gary. Gary! Scooter, you cannot have a pet snail. She frantically wiped her tongue. Scooter sighed. This had gone very wrong indeed. 1 second, he'd be holding Gary in his hand. His little speech about owning a pet snail all prepared. The next Gary had launched himself onto Mum's jam sandwich as she lifted it towards her mouth. Scooter could only watch in horror as Gary mixed with a half-eaten jam sandwich, which had been probably spat out, and lobbed through the window. Don't worry, Gary was okay. I've been looking after him for 3 weeks. Mum, you hadn't even been noticing. Why do you want a pet so much anyway? Mum gave her tongue one last wipe. Is that really what this is about? I don't know. Scooter shrugged. Even though he did really. He plonked himself on a stool and pretended to study the shelves that build the walls. Anything to avoid Mum's gaze. The shelves were lined up with hundreds upon hundreds of jars of jam in the alphabetical order. Right as the end, 2 shelves from the top was a large book. Jam Inventions by Scooter. The Jam Invention book is right there. Jam Invention. That's the biggest book on the shelf. And that's a page. Splat. Gary's now out of the house. The jam factory. I could have said jam factory instead of the house, because it is a jam factory. Every invention he'd ever made or thought of was in that book. He watched as Mum took it down from the shelf and passed it to him with her making up smile. I'm sorry, Scooter. Mum sat quietly beside him. But when we worked at Dodgy Donuts, Daffy's guinea pig used to from the factory. We had to fish its droppings out of the jam. It was disgusting. She took her head. Your dad and I swore that we'd never have any animals in our factory. Mum put her hand on his shoulder. I know it must be hard sometimes with our rules about security and hygiene. It can't be easy to keep all of this a secret. She looks out of the window towards the tower looming beside them. The wood dodgy donuts blinking above it. If only that awful Daffy would stop trying to break in. We put so many security measures in now. She's got to give up soon. She turned back to Scooter. You do understand, don't you, Scooter? And you're happy, aren't you? We've got plenty of friends at school. Yeah, of course, Scooter nodded. It's just, he looked down at the jam inventions book in his hands. He'd never shown it to anyone. Nobody. So I think we'll read page 26 next video. I've read lots of pages now. Bye.